if you look at where the corporate food regime is today, it's in many ways coming apart at the seams. We have a food crisis, a major global food crisis, spikes in food prices. We have an epidemic of diet-related diseases in the North and the South. And then amongst the food movements, you see a whole host of different movements within the movement trying to respond to the disaster of the corporate food regime on the ground. Food Movements Unite is a project to get us talking about how we can converge in all of our diversity as a food movement. Because the food movement is really a movement of many movements, but they're all going basically in the same direction. Food Movements Unite is about how do we bring the different efforts together within our food movement to become a food movement which is powerful enough to really transform the food system. In our last book, Food Rebellions, Crisis and the Hunger for Justice, we tried to lay out the multiple crises which are affecting our food systems. They're the financial crisis, the energy crisis, we have a climate crisis, and the food crisis. We also talked about all of the different projects and programs and organizations and movements that were responding to these crises, and all of the very innovative and creative ways that they were trying to fix what for them is a broken food system. Then in this book, Food Movements Unite, we go directly to the people who are trying to change the food system in all of its dimensions and ask them, what is to be done? The answers in this book are as diverse as the food movement, and sometimes very surprising, shocking, but always inspiring. One of the very hopeful things about this book is it's not just a call to unite. It's also a description of what's happening. Within the book, you'll find that African farmers' organizations are forming strong federations, finding many NGOs who work in sustainable agriculture are now forming alliances with these peasant organizations. You see the MST, the Landless Workers Movement in Brazil, converging with the movement for sustainable agriculture in Latin America. Here in the United States, there's a tremendous move towards food policy councils, which bring together activists and practitioners in the same body in order to change food systems at the local level. If we look at our food movements and what they're doing now on the ground, we find, in fact, that they are beginning to converge. And this is really very promising. This fragmentation, which has kept us apart, is slowly beginning to give way to alliances that bring us together. What we have to realize is that many of the solutions which are being offered to us for like bandages on a broken food system actually serve to keep us apart. What we need are our own solutions in order to be able to converge in all of our diversity. And that's why the book is called Food Movements Unite.